really glad you came to join me again today. Hope things are going well in your world. Today I thought we could kind of flip through some pages, make paper sounds, and do a little reading and pointing. I'll try to whisper a little bit in there as well. Let me know if you like the soft talking or the whispering more. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Table of contents, an introduction, the 12 Olympians, Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Demeter, Ares, Hephaestus, Apollo, Artemis, Dionysus, Athena, Hermes, and Aphrodite. Introduction. Who are the 12 Olympians, you ask? What are their stories? And what were the roles they played in classical Greek culture? Well, you'll find the answers to all those questions here and more in this brief exploration into Greek mythology. To specify, Greek mythology is the body of myths and teachings that belong to the ancient Greeks concerning their gods and heroes and the nature and origin of the world. When we say ancient Greece, we mean ancient. This period lasted from around 800 BC until about 600 AD. Their mythology was a part of the religion in ancient Greece. Modern scholars refer to and study the myths in an attempt to understand the religious and political elements of ancient Greece and its civilization. Greek mythology is told through a large collection of written texts, and in Greek representational arts, such as vase paintings and sculpture. Greek myth attempts to explain the origins of the world and details the lives and adventures of a wide variety of gods, heroes, heroines, and mythological creatures. These accounts initially were spread in an oral poetic tradition, meaning they were passed on from generation to generation by parents telling their children these stories and poems. But today, the Greek myths are known primarily from Greek literature. The amount of myths and stories that the Greeks created is incredibly large. Each god has stories that not only relate to other gods, but to mortals like you and me. The Greeks were very creative in the way that they chose to explain the world around them. Imagine not knowing why the seasons changed or why there were stars in the sky. The Greeks had to think up sometimes fantastical ideas in order to understand the world and its happenings. The 12 gods and goddesses we will discuss here are called the 12 Olympians. They are called 12 Olympians because, you guessed it, there were 12 of them, and they all lived in the sky on top of a huge mountain called Mount Olympus. The Greeks believed that this mountain was so tall that it touched the sky. These 12 gods were the principal characters in many of the Greek myths, and they all played important roles in everyday classical Greek life. In this book, you'll meet all the major gods in Greek mythology, and you'll even see how these stories affect us today. The 12 Olympians: Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Demeter, Ares, Hephaestus, Apollo, Artemis, Dionysus, Athena, Hermes, Aphrodite. Zeus. king of gods. His symbols are the thunderbolt, eagle, bull, and oak. In addition, Zeus is frequently depicted by Greek artists in one of two poses: standing, striding forward with a thunderbolt raised in his right hand, or seated in majesty. Hera, queen of gods, goddess of marriage and family. Her symbols are the peacock, pomegranate, cuckoo, lion, and crown. Hera is portrayed as majestic and solemn, often enthroned and crowned. She usually is seen with a pomegranate in her hand, emblem of both fertility and death. Hera was known for her most jealous and vengeful nature, most notably against Zeus's lovers and offspring, but also against mortals who crossed her. Poseidon, god of the sea. His symbols are dolphins and three-pronged fish spears, known as tridents. Poseidon rides a chariot that was pulled by horses that could ride on the sea. He lived in a palace on the ocean floor made of coral and gems. He is usually depicted as an older male with curly hair and a beard. Demeter, goddess of the harvest. Her symbols are the poppy, wheat, torch, and pig. She presided over grains and the fertility of the earth, though Demeter is often described simply as the goddess of the harvest. She presided also over the sanctity of marriage and the cycle of life and death. Demeter's emblem is the poppy, a bright red flower that grows among the barley. Demeter was usually portrayed on a chariot and frequently associated with images of the harvest, including flowers, fruit, and grain. She was also sometimes pictured with her daughter, Persephone. Ares, goddess of war. His symbols are the spear, the helmet, the dog, the chariot, and the bear. In Greek literature, he often represents the physical or violent and untamed aspect of war, in contrast to the armored Athena, whose functions as a goddess of intelligence include military strategy and generalship. Hephaestus, god of blacksmiths, craftsmen, artisans, sculptors, metals, fire, and volcanoes. His symbols are a smith's hammer, anvil, and a pair of tongs. He is often depicted hunching or sitting down because of his injuries. Apollo, god of light and the sun. His symbols are the lyre, the laurel, wreath, the raven, and the bow and arrow. The ideal of the Kuros, a beardless athletic youth, Apollo is the son of Zeus and Leto, and has a twin sister, the chaste huntress Artemis. his twin sister Artemis, goddess of the hunt, wild animals, wilderness, childbirth, virginity. Her symbols are the stag, the cypress, tree, and the moon. She is protector of young girls, bringing and relieving disease in women. She often is depicted as a huntress carrying a bow and arrows. Dionysus, god of the grape harvest, winemaking and wine, of ritual and ecstasy. Sounds like a nice god, doesn't it? His symbols are the bull, serpent, ivy, and of course wine. In Greek mythology, he is presented as a son of Zeus and the mortal Semele, thus semi-divine. Dionysus was the last god to be accepted into Mount Olympus. He was also the youngest and the only one to have a mortal mother. Athena, goddess of wisdom, courage, civilization, law and justice, strategy, and the arts. Her symbols are the owl, the olive tree, the snake, the helmet, and the spear. She is a companion of heroes and is the goddess of heroic endeavor. She is the virgin patron saint of Athens. The Athenians founded the Parthenon on the Acropolis of her namesake city Athens in her honor. Hermes, god of transitions and boundaries. His symbols are the rooster and the tortoise, purse or pouch, winged sandals and winged cap. His main symbol was the herald's staff, caduceus, which consisted of two snakes wrapped around a winged staff. Aphrodite, goddess of love, beauty, pleasure, and procreation. Her symbols are the dolphin, the rose, the scallop shell, the myrtle tree, the dove, the sparrow, the girdle, and the swan. She is often depicted nude. There's a map of Greece, the Aegean Sea, the family tree, Zeus, Hera, Hestia, Demeter, Hades, Poseidon, Ares, Hephaestus, Heb, Mithria, Enyo, Eris, Metis, Maya, Magi, Semele, Lucius the mortal, Aphrodite, Athena, Hermes, Apollo, Artemis, Dionysus. It's a glossary of terms. Achilles, we know he's a Greek hero of the Trojan War. Acropolis, a settlement, especially a citadel. Ambrosia was the food and drink of the gods. They say that it offered immortality. Caduceus, a staff carried by Hermes. Cyclops, a primordial race of giants with a single eye in the middle of their forehead. Delphi is both an archaeological site and a modern town in Greece. Eros, the god of love. Hades, the ancient Greek god of the underworld. He, of course, was brother to Poseidon and Zeus. Helios, the personification of the sun. Immortal, someone who can live forever. Lame, unable to walk properly, moving with pain or difficulty. Leto, the mother of Apollo and Artemis. Muses, the goddesses of inspiration for the science and arts, literature, dance, music. Maia, a mountain nymph and mother of Hermes and Zeus. The Odyssey is one of two major ancient Greek epic poems written by Homer, Pandora and Pandora's Box. I think we're all familiar with this. Pandora was supposedly the first woman on Earth. She was given a beautiful container with instructions not to open it under any circumstances. But of course, her curiosity made her open it, and all evil contained therein escaped and spread over the earth. Paphos, a coastal city in the southwest of Cyprus and the capital of Paphos district. Parthenon, a temple on the Athenian Acropolis. Prometheus, a hero and a trickster figure who is credited with the creation of man from clay. Rhea, I love that name, Rhea, the mother of the Olympian gods and goddesses. She was married to Cronus. The river Styx, a river in Greek mythology that formed the boundary between Earth and the underworld. The gods were bound by the river and swore oaths on it that were unbreakable. Semele, a mortal priestess of Zeus and the mother of Dionysus and Zeus. And some index. You can look up each little thing and where it's referred to. This talks about the Greek titans and gods. In Greek mythology, the titans comprise the first pantheon of the Greeks and were the children of the Greek primordial deities called protogenoi. The first one. I probably butchered that word. I'm sorry if I did. The Titans were the descendants of Gaia, the goddess of earth, and Uranus, god of the sky. The first generation of Titans included 12 deities, 6 male and 6 female. The male Titans were Oceanus, Hyperion, Cronus,